Bam bam. Hi, my name is Larry. This is a quick tutorial on how to save and load scenes in Streamerbot. It's really great for automating scene changes, like the example at the start of the video and the one on screen now. For this tutorial, you will need OBS and, of course, Streamerbot. I will link them in the description below, along with any examples shown today. Let's get into it. First thing you're gonna need to do is go to the description of this video and download the files. Then, inside of Streamerbot, you're going to click the import button, and then just drag and drop that file across into the window that pops up. You'll see it pops up with all the stuff you need, and then just click the import button to add that to your Streamerbot. Now that's done, you should see a group here called Save and Load. This has the save and load functions, as well as some examples we're going to work on today. A quick breakdown of how these work. So the save function, what it's doing, it's getting the name of the current scene. So this one, we're on scene D. Then it saves that name. So the name of the current scene, it saves it as a new variable called save scene. And then I've just hard-coded in a small delay just to give it time to save the scene before it moves on to anything else. With the load, when it's time to load the scene, that will grab that save scene, and then it's going to set the active scene to the save scene. So in theory, we put all that together, it'll remember what scene you were previously on and return to that later when we tell it to. The benefit of doing this rather than just going to the previous scene is you can have multiple scene changes, like going from scene A to B to C, and then return to scene A again. So it's a little bit more useful, I think, and I use it all the time for so many things on my stream. Okay, so let's work on a simple example here. Let's say go from scene A to scene B, wait a couple of seconds, and then switch back to scene A. Let's automate all that. So you've already created a new action. Inside of that, go to sub actions and look for the run action. Okay, we click that, and then here we can just select save. So the first thing we're doing before anything else is we're gonna save the scene. The next thing we wanted to do is switch scenes. So Streamerbot has a nice function called set active scene. So if we just search set scene, it should come up, and then we can tell it to switch to, we want it to go to scene B. So we've saved the scene that we're currently on. We're gonna switch to scene B, and we want it to wait 2 seconds, so we'll just add a delay in here. Just search delay, it should come up. We'll just say 2 seconds is enough. And then finally, we want to load the previous scene, so we'll run action again. We look for the load scene action, and we run the load. Step by step, it is saving the scene we're currently on, switching to a new scene, waiting 2 seconds, and then returning to the save scene. So we're currently on scene D. It should switch to scene B, and then wait 2 seconds and switch back to scene D. So we'll test that. We're over here, and then switch back automatically. Hell yeah. We could be on scene A, and then we run it. It'll switch to scene B, and switch back to scene A. So you can see how useful it is. You could be over here gaming, and then somebody in the chat triggers this. It switches, zooms into your face, and then switches back to your gameplay, and that's all automated. So that's really, really nice. We can link these to channel point rewards, or we could link it to a chat command that people type in the chat. So I might set that up now just to show you how easy that is. So under the trigger, we're going to add a command. If I start typing command, it should come up. A command triggered is the one you want. So these are all my existing commands I have, but we're just going to make a new one. So I'll go create command. Okay, you can name it whatever you want. When people type example in my chat, it will trigger this thing. And you can adjust cooldowns and whatever if you want. Pretty straightforward. Let's bring up the chat here. Me or anyone types example. Switches to me. Waits 2 seconds, switches back. And then finally, if you'd like to add a channel point redemption, in Streamerbot, they're called rewards. So reward redemption. You can see I got a bunch of existing ones, but again, I can create a new one. So I'm going to create a new one, and we'll call this one example scene change, and then that's fine. We'll just hit create. Okay, that's created that. If you see now, this is my Twitch chat. It should pop up here. Yeah, example scene change. If I click that, it switches just like before and then switches back. So that's the basis of anything. Just run the save at the start, and you can put a bunch of stuff in the middle, and then you run the load at the end. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. Super useful. You can use it for lots of fun stuff. So this is the one I showed at the start of the video, and we're going to run through how this is set up. But this, when it's run, zooms in, switches between two scenes, and then goes back to the original scene. The way this works, we start off by saving whatever scene we're on. We play the sound, the Law and Order sound effect. We switch to scene B. We wait 0.25 of seconds, so 250 milliseconds. Then we switch straight to scene C. So you can see we're doing multiple scene switches here. We wait a little bit longer, and then we return to the original scene by running the load function. Put all that together and trigger that. It's wonderful. Look at that. Amazing. We made something. This example will be provided as well. So you're like, Larry, I'm sick of you talking. I want to be able to do the thing. You can do the thing. Just obviously swap out the name of the scene for the scene inside of your OBS. It should come up a list of all your scenes here anyway, as long as you've got OBS connected correctly. That's it. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching. You've been great. I've been better. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.